Hello and welcome to Tokuku Games match preview of Freiburg against West Ham United in the Europa League. Both teams got off to a winning start in their opening fixture last week, but how will they fare on Thursday night? That's what we're here to discuss. Gonzo, what's your thoughts on their opponents, please?
I think they're a mid-table Bundesliga team. I can't pretend that I've to have known anything about them before we got drawn against them. Obviously, like everybody else, you keep a little eye on what they're doing. I think they've recently. What was interesting was they got a mixed bag of results. They're sort of mid-table. They've recently just played Frankfurt, and we know all about Frankfurt, don't we? So I found that interesting. That being said, Frankfurt have been a little bit pilfered since the last time we played them. Not that we can complain, because we also pilfered Frankfurt before we played them. But anyway, there's a lot of pilfering going on at Frankfurt. I don't know if there's much pilfering going on at Freiburg, but anyway, I believe that they played out a 0-0 draw. As I say, mid-table, steady Eddie team. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be tough to play against. And I think what might not do us a massive favour is that they're playing Bayern Munich a couple of days after they play us. And I guess if there's any game that you're going to not expect to win in the Bundesliga, it's Bayern Munich, because obviously they win the title every year, don't they? So I do wonder if they're going to go full pelt against us, and maybe almost throw the Bayern Munich one, really. So I wonder if that's going to be the case. But of course they won their first game in the group stage, so they are the team to be feared, I think, in the group. The team that I am most concerned about in our Europa League group.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that, actually. I think before the ball was kicked in the group, this game in the Olympiacos game felt like more difficult fixtures than the one last week, for example. But given that they've won in Greece, does that give you a bit of a level as to what one you think we need to look out for a little bit more than the other, perhaps?
Yeah, I've never been overly concerned about Greek teams, just because it's not an overly competitive league. You recognise them because they appear in the Champions League, in European competition each season, but they appear in European competition each season because every country has to have some contingent in there. So you're going to see Olympiacos, you're going to Panathinaikos, or whatever the case may be. You're going to see these teams in there. It's not an overly competitive league, and to put it into perspective, I think when we signed Masuaga, he was one of the better players over there, and so they're nowhere near. I think even unless you are Real Madrid or Barcelona, I think even majority of La Liga are going to struggle to keep up with the money of the Premier League. So there's no way that the Greek league can. So no, that doesn't bother me. The Bundesliga are a strong, well-organised league who have just everything going for them, really, don't they? They got good academies, they got good stadium, they got good teams, they got good coaches, good players. Yeah, any Bundesliga team, I think, have got to be treated with the utmost respect.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that, to be honest with you. I do fear Freiburg quite a bit, actually. I do think they're going to make it quite difficult for us. I think they're better than a mid-table Bundesliga side, though. I think you've been a bit harsh there. But
I just read it.
Wait, just for context. Gonzo doesn't watch Bundesliga football. He doesn't know much about it. They've come close to qualifying for the Champions League a few times under their current manager, who he must be the longest serving manager in the top 5 leagues in European football. Christian Streich. He's been there for 11, 12 seasons now. He's been there, so it's his team, it's his club. They've come close to Champions League football. Last season, they were in the Europa League. They were unbeaten in the group stages, got through. Then Juventus put them out in the knockout stages. So they are definitely a side that's got a lot about them, actually. They're used to playing European football. They're not a quick, adventurous side or anything. They don't mind having the ball. They don't mind possession football, which arguably helps us a little bit. Good at set pieces, though. They've been good at set pieces for quite a few seasons now. They've got their own little James Ward-Prowse in the team too, so that's something we're going to have to look out for. But I often find them quite suspect at set pieces defensively. So while they're good in one box, I find them quite bad in the other, actually. But they're not a fast team, so I wouldn't expect any blitz, fast-paced players running past our fullbacks for that. So expect them to be comfortable in possession on Thursday night. They're not going to worry too much if they've got 60, 70%. It's not going to bother them. They'll feel quite confident that they'll be able to break us down. Strike's always been a manager that likes to play that way. He's got his principles and he sticks to them regardless of how results go. And the results have proven to be correct so far. Hence why he's been there for 12 seasons now. It's a long, long time. I'm trying to think of another manager off the top of my head that might be longer serving than him, but there's none coming to me at the minute. Anyway, as I've already spoke about, I'm being in the league, 8th in the Bundesliga currently. Only scored 7 goals in 6 games, though. Lack of goals is something that's maybe some Freiburg's always had. They've never really been that prolific, even last season, while they did well to finish where they did in the league, fifth or sixth in the league. They finished. They were still they were fifth. They were quite some way behind the top goal scorers in the league, and they were on par with Union Berlin, who finished just above them in the league as well. So a difficult game for us. As we mentioned, they beat Olympiacos last week 3-2 away. So they went to Greece and won 3-2, which is the game that, funny enough, they scored more goals in so far this season. Gonzo, any players you admire from the Bundesliga outfit?
No, but I don't mean this with any disrespect, by the way.
There's no disrespect. You just don't watch German football.
I don't. I just looked at the team and I saw them in mid-table. I don't watch it. I'm just mindful after what happened with Frankfurt when I sort of I called the president their owner and people got a bit offended by it. So, yeah, I don't mean any offence. They've got someone called Philip Lionheart, actually, which I thought was a really, really good name. There were a couple of names I thought I recognised, Maximilian, somebody or other, but I'll be honest with you, once I looked, I couldn't remember why I bloody recognised them. So I'm sure they're an amazing team with amazing fans, and I love the Bundesliga and everything German.
There is a few players people will recognise. Lionheart's one of them. Obviously, plays international football, scored at the weekend as well from a corner. Funnily enough, he scored from a corner at the weekend. Eckstein is one player recognised. Gregor Tisch is another player recognised that is a striker for them. Their little James Ward-Prowse, or say big, he's quite tall. James Ward-Prowse is Grifo. We'll have to look out for him. Incredible record for taking penalties, scores, set pieces as well. I think he's the best set piece taker in terms of goals in the Bundesliga this season and last season, possibly the one before that. If you combine them anyway, he tops the charts for penalties and free kicks. So something to be wary of if we're going to start conceding free kicks outside the box. They've got someone that's capable of bending it into the top corner. But enough about them. But actually, one more player. Just looking at my notes there, written down. Junior Adamu, you might remember him. West Ham fans, we were strongly linked to him when he was at Salzburg. He joined Freiburg in this summer, yet to really get up and running at the club yet, but he's someone to keep an eye out for that could cause us a little bit of bother on Thursday night. Gonzo, ready to discuss West Ham?
I think so. I think let's move along.
And you hopefully know a little bit more about them than you do about Freiburg. Team news for West Ham United this week is that Aaron Cresswell remains a serious doubt. He was missing from the squad that beat Sheffield United 2-0 at the London Stadium on Saturday. Jared Bourne had picked up a little knock, and there's concerns that he may not make it on Thursday. But for the sake of the preview, we're going to assume he's fine and hope he's fine. But apart from that, it's clean bill of health for David Moyes. Edson Alvarez is back this week after missing last week with his one-match suspension following his red card from Ajax last season. Gonzo, this is, before we do our 11, I think this is a really difficult match for David Moyes, actually, because he's got to take this one serious. Yep. But then we've got Newcastle on Sunday, so we've got 2 real difficult games headed into the international break. So on one hand, he's got to make sure that we get something on Thursday and we get something on Sunday. But on the other hand, there's a lot of players waiting for game time at West Ham.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to wait. I mean, we've had a good rest, actually. Saturday to Thursday is absolutely fine. No problem with that. You're absolutely right. We've got Newcastle at the weekend, but it's Thursday to Sunday. Yeah, okay, they're playing Champions League, so that they've got an additional little bit of rest there. But then again, Newcastle got to travel down, obviously, well, from Newcastle, as you'd expect, funny enough, down to London, just in case they were in need of directions and they haven't got Google Maps. That's what you're going to be doing. Newcastle ahead of the game. We can't muck around with this one for all the reasons. As I say, Bundesliga teams, you can't mess around with these guys. You know, you can make a change or two, but I wouldn't be making wholesale changes. It's certainly not going to be something where I was, calling for the inclusion of people like I was against Lincoln City. It's not Lincoln City at all.
That's interesting. We might have similar 11s then, because I completely agree with you. I think we need... I'll be happy with a point on Thursday. Hopefully we can get the win, but I'll say it now. I'll be okay with a point in this one, and then sets us up in a nice position. 4 points after 2 games in the group stage, going into the international break, I think is a strong start, and that's what we've possibly had then. the easiest fixture and the toughest fixture on paper out the way within, and I think that puts us in a good place for the doubleheader against Olympiacos. So it is a tough one for Moyes. I think there's one or two easy selections for him to do, one or two easy changes, but I do think there's quite a few problematic ones. I say problems, they're problems for good reasons, which is the player in the starting 11 is really strong, but perhaps we don't have an adequate replacement as yet. So let's go through the teams. Myself and Gonzo want to see, this is not what we think Moyes will do. We'll do that in another video. This is what we want Moyes to do on Thursday night. In goal, Lucas Fabianski for yourself?
No, Areola for this one.
Ooh, why is that?
It's just a really important game, Geo, and it's a goalkeeper. They don't do a lot, and so it's not like they need rest, is it? They're not running round loads and all the rest of it. And to be fair, all Areola had to do the other day was that once, and that was it against Sheffield United. Bit of talking and pointing as well, and that was about it. So yeah, I'll take this game very, very seriously. Actually, it's not that I'm not gonna swap anyone. I am, but I'm not guarding against injury or fatigue with the goalkeeper.
I get it. I get what you're saying. It's Fabianski for me because I think he's still a top goalkeeper. I think we need to keep him as sharp as possible. That if something does happen to Areola, then he's out injured for any period of time, that Fabianski's got that minutes under his belt. There's no rustiness. He's match fit. He's in form. He's ready to go in the Premier League. And these fixtures are important for him, I think. And it's important to keep Fabianski relatively happy as well, actually. And this is the issue when you've got two number one goalkeepers, which is what I think we do. I think Areola is a better goalkeeper. I'm not disputing that. But I think Fabianski's still a top goalie. So he comes in for me. Talk me through your back four, assuming you wish to play back four, that is.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not giving it the old tactical switch for this one, Gio. Thank you for asking. I'm going to go with Thilo Kehrer at right back because he's German, and that counts for something actually. When you're playing in Germany, fun enough, he can order the grub and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He knows what he's when he's ordering the kebabs. He's going to know. He's going to speak lingo.
When we play English teams, you don't want to see Ben Johnson starting.
That's true, but that's all right. I'm assuming everyone else can phone up and order the kebabs when they're in England. You know what I mean? Or whatever fish and chips, whatever I don't know, maybe even a Chinese, whatever they're going to order. It's just Thilo Kehrer can. Yeah,
because he's German. I mean, that's got to be the worst reason for including a player in the starting 11 I've ever heard.
I think he's good. I think because of it, I'm jest. I don't think they're going to order any food. I'd imagine they've taken their own chef over, and I doubt they eat kebabs. It's very, very bad for you. But highly trained athlete stuffing down a doner kebab before the game. I don't know why we lost, Gaffer. But what I'm saying is, Thilo Kehrer, because he's German, he's going to impress. He's going to puff his chest out and say, have a look at this. So I think he'll be excellent. I think he'll have a really good performance if he plays. So I actually think for this game, he's the best man for the job, and that's why he's in there. The rest of them, I am very, very dodgy about Kurt Zouma, but only because he's broken. So I am tempted to put Mavropanos in there, really tempted. However, I'm not going to do it. I'm actually going to play Zouma. I'm going to play a Gerd, and I'm going to play Emerson.
Right, okay. Let me go through mine. I'll give my reasons for these players because I think the Mavropanos one is interesting. I actually get why you want to include Kehrer. I want to include Kehrer as well. He's too good not to be playing game time at West Ham.
Yeah.
But I just don't like him as a right back. He's done okay this season at right back, but the opponents have been crap. Let's put it that way. He's not been tested. Sure. I don't want to see him at right back. I'll keep Soufal there for this one. Three assists now. He's become an important part of the way that we attack and the way we play in both sides of the pitch, going forward and defensively. I want to try and win this game. We're going to need to score in open play. And I think if you said to me, who's most likely to create the goal? Well, actually, maybe not my number one choice, but maybe my second or third choice. I'd say, well, actually, Soufal statistically is most likely to get the assist at the minute. So I'd keep him in, start strong. We've got the international break coming up. I'm aware he'll get minutes for when he goes away with Czech, but he's someone that has been playing Thursday to Sunday for us, and I've never ever recall there being an issue with his fitness or anything like that. So Soufal's someone I'd have in. I've gone with Mavropanos next to a Gerd for the reasons, funny enough, that you've just stated, which is Zouma looked a bit dodgy against Sheffield United. He looked more limpy than usual. But Mavropanos knows the league. Mavropanos knows German teams. We've just signed him from a German club. So if anyone knows about Freiburg, actually, it is Mavropanos. If anyone knows how to deal with their attack, it is Mavropanos. So I'd put him in. I think this is an ideal fixture for him. So I'd put him in next to Gerd. I think Zuma needs rested, and I would play Emerson for the same reasons you would, which is he's just too damn good and too important at the minute. Moving into midfield, how would you like to see us line up in there?
I'm still undecided. I'm making it up as I go along, but I definitely want Alvarez and Ward-Prowse in there.
Yeah, Alvarez has to start. There's no replacement.
Yeah, so he goes in there. Ward-Prowse goes in there as well. I'm thinking Paqueta. I will play in central attacking midfield. So yeah, that midfield three. So I'm going to, despite producing a video saying Thomas Souček is undroppable, I'm going to drop Thomas Souček.
There's a big difference.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you know that, Geo, because you know what I'm going. Well, but you're picking
you use the non-Geo terminology. That's why.
I did. Yeah. I mean, he's undroppable for David Moyes, but I think bearing in mind he played all those minutes against Lincoln, and there'll be people that say, well, hold on, he can play 2 games a week. You're absolutely right, but he is also going to go away with the Czech Republic and play a lot. So I would, and I'd reinstate Lucas Paqueta back to the middle and drop Thomas Souček for this one, ready and ahead of Newcastle, because I expect him to play them.
I would do that as well, but also for an additional reason, which is, let's see this midfield without Thomas Souček. At some point, we're going to have to probably play this 3 in midfield. If he's not going to do it in the Premier League, I accept it. He won't do it against Newcastle. I accept that. Well, when are we going to have a look at this makeup? And I think Thursday night provides a really good opportunity, and it means that we've got a really strong centre midfielder on the bench that can cover all scenarios. We need to protect the lead. Brilliant. Souček can come on for Paqueta and tighten that midfield. We need a goal. Brilliant. Souček can come on and provide that threat in the opposition box. So actually, got a really good substitute on our hand there as well. Now, this is where it gets interesting, I think, because obviously we just move Paqueta over, which obviously frees up a space. Jared Bourne's a doubt. Hopefully he's fit, touch wood and all that. And then you've got Michail Antonio, who traditionally, he's not been injured for some time, actually. I think it's gone under the radar just how non-injury prone Antonio's turned into. But David Moyes has managed him really, really well. And I think picking this team is where you feel the difference between the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. Because last season, Antonio didn't have to start on a Thursday. We had Scamacca. And even in the latter stages, in the knockout rounds, when we played Larnaca, we were able to play Danny Ings, or was it Larnaca? Was it Ghent? I don't know. We played someone, and we didn't play Antonio because we didn't need to. And Danny Ings was adequate enough for it. But I'm not so sure you can say the same about this fixture in regards to Ings. So it'll be interesting to see what your front 3 is.
Yeah, I mean, I would play Kudus on the right. I would play Bowen up front. And I'm a little bit undecided on the left, which is why I think we need a left winger. I'm not happy about putting either Cornet or Benrahma in there for different reasons, but someone's going to have to go in there. It'll probably be Benrahma. I would absolutely give Antonio the night off, but take him, not leave him in London. I'd take him on the coach. He can be holding the kebabs.
Coach, I'd take, we're going to be knackered by Newcastle. We're getting the bus.
Someone said the coach, and Tim would be trying to shoehorn them into the jet. Normally there's only 4 blokes. Oh, sorry, and a lady. Don't forget that. On this jet, and Kudus's agent. Big respect to her. And so I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe 3 or 4 journeys on the old on Stuyton Airways, but possibly no room for Tim on his own jet. Imagine that. You know, right sulk up. I wouldn't be happy. But so I'd imagine I'd take Antonio there, the last one. He's on be on a final flight over. And I'd have him on the bench. And I would have rescue players on the bench. Absolutely. Souček on the bench. This is a serious game. Such an extent. I don't want to even test Mabama in this one. I think we need that. But I would be looking to make substitutions in this. So Kudus, Bowen, Benrahma.
I've gone with the same 3. I actually prefer Kudus up front than Bowen because, well, I've seen more evidence from Kudus when he was at Ajax, albeit that he can play. call it a striker, false nine, whatever terminology you wish to use. He's done it for Ajax as the main man in the middle of the pitch, furthest forward, right in that area of the park. He's done it for Ajax in the Champions League. As I thought, he did it against Liverpool, he's done it against Rangers, he's done it for Ghana. So Kudus can play that role. I've yet to see anything from Bowen which suggests he can. I know he played some games at Hull as the man through the middle, but it was not many, and that's the Championship. Kudus has done it in the Champions League. There's a big gulfing difference between quality and also time. Kudus did it last season in the Champions League as a striker. Jared Bowen did it 4 seasons ago in the Championship. It's completely different. So I would go with Kudus to the middle for this one, Bowen to his right, and then Ben Rama for his left. I think I wasn't impressed by him against Sheffield United. So I've got reservations over it, but I've seen nothing from anyone else, partly because I wasn't able to watch the Lincoln game, but I've seen nothing else outside that from Cornet to play. Fornals is the other option. You haven't even mentioned him. That just goes to show the decline of Pablo Fornals at West Ham, where he's not even considered to be an option from yourself. But there's nobody else really that we can put. We've got about 3 or 4 players that can play there. We've got nobody that should play there. So interesting one. I've gone Ben.
The thing is, Gio, sorry, just to interrupt. Kadua played well against Manchester City under 21s. There's no point in mentioning him because he won't play. He's definitely worth a go, but it's just not going to happen. And I know there's the argument, when do these, David Moyes can't give these kids a chance because of all these senior players. And I do agree with that. But when there's one area of the team where actually all the senior players are in pretty pants form at the moment, and that is on that left-hand side, because we've moved Paqueta into the middle, then why not? Why couldn't Gideon Kadua play perform better than Benrahma and or Maxwell Cornet? He just might. But I haven't said it because, I just have. But I just know Moyes won't do it.
It's a gamble. It would be a gamble. To be fair, I would argue that playing Benrahma or Cornet is also a gamble. It's a different one, which is we're gambling that you're going to somehow spring back into form. But we could do that. It's a gamble that you can step up and play at this level. So we'll be interested to see what David Moyes does. At this point, we would like to point you in the direction of the Hammers Chat Patreon. If you're enjoying our videos and you would like to get more videos, you have to enter our giveaways, which includes signed shirts. We've also given away one of these medal things, medal displays. There's a replica Conference League replica medal. We've given one away. We've got another 3 to give away. One this month and one the following month. One the following month as well. That's how it works. But there's not the only thing we give away. We give away like 5 or 6 prizes every single month. There's just a top prize, and it gets less as we go down. The last one out usually wins Hammers Chat socks and coasters and mugs and things like that. But so it's not just videos, there's giveaways. It's just kind of our online store. We often have ticket giveaways over there as well. You can join up from £3.60 per month, so less than £1 a week to support the channel. You can go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. And if you're thinking, I fancy a little bit of that, but I'm not too sure, well, you can join a free trial. You can get a 7-day trial as a mild addict. All the details are over there. But like I said, please, if you do join the free trial, it's up to you to cancel it before your subscription automatically begins at the end of the trial. Thank you to everybody that has joined up, and thank you to anybody that does go and support the channel. Massively appreciate it. Gonzo, are you confident?
No, I don't think so.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling there's a little bit of cautiousness about you during this preview. I can feel you a little bit. You've got a bit timid, a little bit afraid of Freiburg.
Oh, I am. I'm terrified of these Bundesliga fans, truth be known. After the Frankfurt experience, so I just like to say at this point, I think what a lovely kit they've got as well, Freiburg, and the badge is sensational. And
all right, what colour is the badge?
I think it's black and white.
Correct. To be fair, you are.
It's beautiful. I was gonna plead colour blindness. Then that was my next move. No. But lovely, and it's great. What a town or city! I think it's amazing. It's amazing over there. But I'm nervous because of their how good they are and how professional and brilliant Bundesliga clubs are. So I think it's not going to be a walkover this at all, and that's why I want us to play our pretty much bordering on our best team with an eye on Newcastle. But as I say, Freiburg got a big game against Bayern Munich coming up.
I'm hopeful But I would not declare myself confident either. The one thing that actually gives me confidence, I mean, the other thing we have to take into consideration is there's no away fans, there's no West Ham fans for this fixture. So the team won't have any support there. There is no backing from the away fans for this one. We've got a ban. The one thing that gives me a little bit of confidence is that we can talk about our poor Premier League form over last season, etc. That's fine. But what we can't do is talk about our poor European form. There hasn't been any. We've been good. We've started this season well. Last season we won it, unbeaten in the entire competition. The season before that we got to semi-final stages. And yes, we got put out by a Bundesliga side, but we never got a fair crack at it. Well, we did. But we conceded a goal in 90 seconds in the first leg, and Creswell got sent off in the second leg. We never really got a fair go at that semi-final. But our European game management has been spot on. And you know what I'll say? We've beaten better teams than Freiburg in the past 2 seasons. We have done. We've beaten Lyon, beaten Sevilla. We've beaten better sides than them. But they're not going to be a walk in the park. And it concerns me a little bit that I think... it'll be an interesting one. They're not prolific, which gives me hope as well, actually. So the chances of us keeping a clean sheet, I think, are probably greater than what it would be against Newcastle or Aston Villa in the Premier League. Although I'm trying to compare 7th, 8th in the Bundesliga to 7th, 8th in the Premier League, and we're into the region of, funny enough, West Ham, Villa, Brighton.
Yeah.
I think the chance of us keeping a clean sheet on Thursday is greater than one of those sides. So I'm nervous, actually, Gonzo, because if we lose, it's a long wait till we play another European game to try and put us back on the right track, kind of thing. And if we want to win the group, which is important, because then you skip a round and you don't have to face a third place team in the Champions League. You want to win the group. I think we can't afford to lose this one. I think if we lose this one, suddenly it's let's try and get second and get through. And while that would be good, it's not ideal. So it's an important fixture, this one. Any final thoughts in your score prediction, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather finish third in this group than second for me.
You?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather have the extra game. And I'd rather drop down to the Conference League because I think, that'd be, I wouldn't mind that at all. It's like a little comfort blanket, actually, that division. But we've got to try and finish top of the group. We absolutely have to finish top of the group. I do think David Moyes will take this seriously. If there are any Freiburg fans, magnificent Freiburg fans, should I say, who are out there thinking that David Moyes will rest for this game, he won't. He's going to take this very, very seriously. There have been suggestions that maybe the pitch at Freiburg is not very good. Not by me. I think it's beautiful. I've never seen grass like it, quite frankly. It's the finest grass in the world grows in Freiburg. But there have been some unscrupulous journalists suggesting that the Freiburg pitch is a bit dodgy and a bit bumpy and it's going to be hard work. So,
arguably, so that suits us more than Freiburg, to be fair.
Well, if it were true, which is not, they'd be used to all the undulations it's like Jared Bowen running through the potato field, isn't it? His ankles are all fat and muscly.
He's used to that.
He's used to it. Yeah. They're like, honestly, they can handle them. They're like, honestly, like mountain goats, like Himalayan mountain goats. Those Freiburg players, they're seriously well balanced individuals. So, I approach it with fear and trepidation. A Freiburg 10, West Ham 0, probably, but I'm thinking probably a 1-0 West Ham win.
Ooh, I'll take that any day of the week. I'm looking forward to it, actually. While I'm nervous, I am looking forward to this one because if we can get anything from Thursday, like I said, I'll take a draw now. I think that play, like I said, the hardest fixture for me. If we can get a draw, get to Newcastle on Sunday, we can get something out of that game as well. It puts us in a really, really strong position going into the second international break of the season, actually. And we can look back at August, September, October so far. I think, you know what? I think we'd have all taken this at the start of the season that we'd be in the top 10 in Premier League. We'd have 4 points on the board after our first 2 European games in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I think we'd be in an excellent situation. So we've got the next 3 games are big. I include the Villa one at the international break, but that's some distance away. But for now, the next week, it's quite a big one, actually. And it'll be really give us a bit of an idea of where we're at. And if we can come away on Thursday with something, I'll be really, really happy. For this one, though, I'm going to say Freiburg 1, West Ham 1. I think there'll be a tricky team to play against. They'll be quite difficult. I think they're going to have the lion's share of possession. They'll pose a threat. But I do think they're a little bit goal shy. I know they scored 3 against Olympiacos, but as Gonzo said at the start of the reason, at the start of the video, the Greek league is nowhere as strong as the Bundesliga. And in the Bundesliga, they've scored 7 and 6, which is hardly frightening. I think there's only one player scoring more than 1 goal for them this season. So it's not like they've got an outstanding goal scorer like we do in Jared Bourne or anything. So we should be all right. I'm looking forward to this. I'm intrigued as to what David Moyes will do, but we'll find out on Thursday evening. We will be live at 4:40. So now the kickoff is a 5:45 kickoff as we're playing away from home. So 4:40, we will be live on this channel as myself and Gonzo will be taking a look at the West Ham team, the Freiburg team. Gonzo will be giving them lots of compliments, I'm sure.
I got my Freiburg pen, actually.
Then Charlie will be doing the watch along, and then we'll be doing the review as well. But if you fancy joining us for more videos, head over to patreon.com/HammersChat, or even if you just want to support the channel, and that allows us to keep doing videos every single day on this channel and the forum channel for free for you guys to watch. But anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you in the comments.